What is going on, everybody? Sorry for the little bit of a different venue for the stream here, but today we are going to be talking about the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. What a game this was, huh? Pretty much had everything that you wanted if you're a Browns fan, almost. The Browns lose today 23 to 16 after playing pretty much, I would probably say, one of their best halves of football in the first half of this game. Uh, Dillon Gabriel came in today, looked pretty much the same as Dillon Gabriel. He had a one real nice pass up the seam today. But Dillon Gabriel looked the same. Browns defense came ready to play. But unfortunately, as we'll get into later on, as you can see by the chyron here at the bottom of your screen, Dillon Gabriel goes out after getting sacked in the second quarter, goes out of today's game with a concussion, and finally you could feel the energy in the stadium. You could feel the energy of the Browns fandom, the dog pound around Cleveland and around the world. Everybody put their wrists up because Shedeur Sanders finally made his long-awaited NFL debut. And then he proceeded to look unprepared, like what Kevin Stefanski and everyone else had been saying for many months, that he looks unprepared, but he's getting better. And he looked like a rookie quarterback who was taken in the 5th round, who'd never had a single rep with the first team. And so the Browns take a 16-10 lead going into halftime, and they fall 23-16. And we'll get more into it as we go on in the stream. But first of all, thank you guys so much for coming out here on your Sunday afternoon for the live Browns post game. Make sure you guys hit the like button on the stream. Helps us out in the algorithm. Gets more eyeballs here on the stream and on the channel. And hit the subscribe button as we get into this doozy of a game. Because if we thought the Browns season couldn't get any crazier, it's going to get a hell of a lot more crazier going forward now. So, again, like I was saying, the Browns come in, they lose 23-16 to the Baltimore Ravens, and Shedeur Sanders, the man of the hour, the man that everybody wanted to see, including myself. I wanted to see Shedeur Sanders. I wanted to see Shedeur Sanders come out here and play because, like everybody else, I thought that Shedeur Sanders is going to be better than Dillon Gabriel. Now, again, we've only seen one half of football from Shedeur Sanders, but we have to be honest here, okay? We're an honest channel. We're an honest community, okay? You guys know I don't play by anything. I don't hide anything. Shedeur Sanders looked horrible today. He looked horrible. He looked like a rookie quarterback taken in the 5th round who never had a first-team rep, and it showed. He looked unprepared. And guess what? Kevin Stefanski, everyone kept saying he's not prepared. All the beat reporters kept saying he's not prepared. Everything told us that he didn't look prepared. And a lot of people got caught up in the moment, including myself, basically saying that, well, how much worse could Shedeur be? Because Dillon Gabriel looks horrible. And Dillon Gabriel does look horrible. He's still not great, okay? But Shedeur Sanders didn't necessarily look the best today. Now, again, I am not going to write off his career. I'm not going to write him off at all. I'm going to wait until he gets a full game next week against the Raiders because he's going to start, guys. Shedeur Sanders is finally going to start a football game next week against the Las Vegas Raiders. And many of us in the Browns, fandom and media thought he's going to go and play against the Raiders, that this was probably going to be the last week for Dillon Gabriel. And now Dillon Gabriel gets hurt. He has a concussion. Hopefully he gets better. But now Shedeur's going to have his shot. He's going to have his shot to improve on this game because there's a lot to improve on. We can all say this. There's a lot to improve on. He was not particularly great today, but that doesn't mean he's not going to be good in the future. I think that He was looking like a rookie quarterback today, for the most part. That last drive showed me a lot. I will say, we were watching the football game. The last drive did show me a lot. I think that he showed that he has a lot more of maneuverability than Dillon Gabriel does. I think he is a lot more athletic than people give him credit for. I think Shedeur had a couple of moments in this game that Shedeur looked pretty good maneuvering in the pocket, getting out of, harm's way, and then running out and getting some room. He did rush the ball 3 times for 16 yards. So he showed a little bit on the ground that he can maneuver a little bit, okay? Then you get probably his best throw of the game. Actually, he had 2 good throws. One was an incompletion, which we'll talk about in a second. The other one was a huge connection, I think it was to Harold Fannin, for like a 25-yard gain, which was a beautiful throw. It was the best protection that he got all game long, and he absolutely destroyed the football, got it downfield, made an awesome throw. The second throw that I think that everyone is probably going to talk about as like a wow throw, as a wow moment from Shedeur Sanders, is going to be that long throw, the deep throw in the left corner of the end zone to Gage Larvidan. And it was a great, great play by Awuzie. I think it was Awuzie to break up that pass. It was a great defensive play by Awuzie to break up that pass. But that was a great throw by Shedeur. I think if Awuzie's arm is just even a little bit, up in the air, it just changes a little bit. That's probably, it could be caught for a touchdown by Larvidan. That's how good of a touch of a ball that was from Shedeur. So again, I think he had some moments where you're like, okay, there's some flashes here. There's some things that we can look forward to maybe improve upon going into Las Vegas next week. Okay. There's some other times where the criticisms and the concerns coming into the draft, where he holds onto the ball too long, he takes too many sacks, that also flashed today. He held onto the ball a lot longer than he probably needed to in some areas. There were a couple of throws that he could have made, maybe in some dump-off throws to Quinshon Judkins, and one play in particular to Quinshon Judkins where Quinshon was out in the flat. He could have just dumped it off to him. Could have gotten a couple of yards out of it, but it was something better than nothing. He had to make a throw. But, I mean, again, there's a lot of things that Shedeur has to do and has to improve on. And again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Shedeur is horrible, Shedeur is bad, this is what we said, that Shedeur should never start. I'm not going to say that. I'm also not going to say that Shedeur is the best quarterback and that everyone failed around him and all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to say that. But this is an opportunity for Shedeur and for the Browns to come out here through this week to work on and improve what Shedeur needs to improve upon. I think he needs to improve his pocket presence. I think he needs to improve his timing with receivers. That's going to improve this week as they get more reps with each other as Dillon sits out. He needs to improve getting the ball out quicker and not holding onto the football too long. He also needs to improve on pressure and how to respond to pressure, because the Ravens did that the entire second half. When they realized that he did not respond well to pressure, they just sent 8 guys. They just sent him right through the offensive line. And guess what? The offensive line struggled in the second half as well. They struggled as well. Nobody on the offensive side of the ball did particularly well in the second half. There were some flashes by Shedeur. Outside of that, the offensive line wasn't great. Playmakers were not getting open. It felt like as soon as the Ravens took away the Browns' running game with Quinshon Judkins, they forced Shedeur Sanders to make some throws in the second half, and that's when everything just went off the rails for the Browns. And again, I am not going to sit here and say that Shedeur Sanders is not going to be great. I'm not sitting here and saying that Shedeur Sanders is going to be the best quarterback of all time. It's one half of football. He's going to have a shot coming up next week against the Las Vegas Raiders, who are particularly not a good football team. They are not a good football team. He's probably going to improve. He's going to look better. At least I hope he's going to look better. And it's up to Kevin Stefanski and it's up to Tommy Rees to make a game plan around Shedeur Sanders and the strengths of Shedeur so that we can come out here next week, Sunday, and hopefully watch a better product than what we saw today. Because today, it looked like nobody knew how to game plan around Shedeur. Shedeur looked like he was overwhelmed. And the entire offense just looked so unbelievably horrible. All the way around, it was a failure. Okay? We have to acknowledge that it was just a failure all the way around. Shedeur looked overmatched. He looked overwhelmed at points. The Browns' offense and coaching staff, game plan-wise, play calling-wise, looked like they didn't know how to handle Shedeur's skill sets. They didn't know what plays to call for Shedeur and that. Like I said, there were some flashes that Shedeur showed to make you say, maybe there's something there that you can improve upon. You get him more time in the pocket. He can maneuver more in the pocket. And he can make some throws. Guys got to get open. That's also a huge thing. The other thing is that I hope that Dillon Gabriel gets better, because you're going to have a problem on your hands if you're Kevin Stefanski. Now, if Shedeur Sanders comes out here next week and he plays bad, you're going to have to think, well, are you going to go back to Dillon Gabriel, or are you going to go with Shedeur Sanders? Because right now, the Browns are in a conundrum. The Browns are in a conundrum because a lot of people, including myself, wanted the Browns to move on to Shedeur Sanders. We all knew that Dillon Gabriel was Kevin's guy. He's Kevin's guy. Kevin wanted him in the draft. Shedeur Sanders is more viewed as a project by the Browns than anything else, right? Now that you got Shedeur Sanders, and everybody said, once you go to Shedeur Sanders, you can't go back to Dillon Gabriel. You can't go back. We know what Dillon Gabriel is. We know what kind of player he is. Now you're going to have a problem where you're going to have to figure out, if Shedeur is struggling, do you take Shedeur out and put Dillon back in, or do you let Shedeur work out his kinks and maybe you ride with Shedeur? Because now Kevin has the excuse to go back to Dillon Gabriel, because now Shedeur's playing not because Dillon is playing bad, it's because Dillon's hurt. So now there's going to be a huge issue. I'm just warning you guys now, because I know there's going to be a lot of people when this gets brought up. Okay, I hope that people are going to be talking about this, because everybody kept saying Shedeur's only going to play when Jimmy Haslam tells Kevin to play Shedeur Sanders. Now Kevin has the excuse that Shedeur's playing because Dillon's hurt, and once Dillon gets healthy, then we're going to put Dillon back in. So the Shedeur fans who are out here, okay, I'm just warning you right now, it's going to get a hell of a lot worse. It's going to get a hell of a lot worse. If you thought that Shedeur Sanders not playing it was the worst thing that you're going to experience, just wait until Kevin Stefanski decides Shedeur Sanders is going to go back to being the backup and he's going to put Dillon Gabriel back out there. That I'm preparing you guys right now, because I think that's probably going to happen. I really do. No matter how Shedeur does, no matter if he plays really well or if he looks really bad, I think Dillon Gabriel is going to come back out here and start football games again. I really do. Because Dillon Gabriel now, or Kevin Stefanski now, has the excuse to go back to Dillon Gabriel. When everybody thought that if you just move on from Dillon Gabriel and go to Shedeur Sanders, well, then you couldn't go back to Dillon Gabriel. You can't go back to Dillon Gabriel. You can't do that. You can't do that. Now, with this excuse with the concussion issue, now Kevin has the excuse to go back to Dillon Gabriel whenever he sees fit, probably after the Raiders game. So I'm just warning you guys right now. I'm warning you guys right now that if this happens after the Ravens game, and no matter how Shedeur plays, if the Browns go back to Dillon Gabriel, it's going to be because Kevin views this as, well, Dillon got hurt. We trust Dillon more than Shedeur. We're going to go put Dillon back out there. So once again, I hope Shedeur Sanders plays well next week. I really do. I'm just warning you guys right now. Dillon Gabriel may be the starting quarterback after next week going forward after the Raiders game. I'm just warning you guys right now, okay? But again, we're going to get more into it tomorrow on Coming Off the Bench at noon Eastern. Make sure you guys are staying tuned for that because tomorrow's show is going to be a doozy, especially talking more in depth about this game going forward. And especially what Shedeur Sanders and how the Browns are going to utilize Shedeur Sanders for the Raiders game. Tomorrow on Coming Off the Bench is going to be a very interesting show. So if you guys are not subscribed, hit the subscribe button because you guys are going to want to be tuned in for tomorrow's show at noon Eastern, okay, when we go live. This Raiders game may be the biggest game of the Browns season. It's going to be the biggest game of the Browns season because this is going to tell us whether Shedeur is going to take the reins for the rest of the season or it's going to give Kevin the excuse to go back to Dillon Gabriel. The future of the 2025 season is going to be on Sunday. That's going to be the future of the 2025 season. Is it going to be Shedeur Sanders leading the Browns for the rest of this year, or are we going to probably get Dillon Gabriel coming back after next week, no matter if Shedeur struggles? I think that's the biggest question going into Sunday against the Raiders because Shedeur Sanders is going to start. He's going to start, guys. So all the Shedeur stands who've been clamoring for him to start, you guys are going to get Shedeur Sanders starting a football game. I'm just going to say this right now. Kevin Stefanski probably is hoping deep down that Dillon Gabriel is going to start after the Raiders game. But that's just my thoughts about Shedeur Sanders right now in the situation because I think there's so many angles to attack the Shedeur Sanders thing. There's so many angles to attack this from, but that's just my opinion right now going forward. All right, guys. Let's look at some of your guys' chat. Thank you guys so much. You guys have been absolutely killing it with the engagement here. This is a Duck YD. When can we fire these clowns? Probably after the season, Duck. Probably after the season. One foe, no first team reps in one preseason game. It could have been worse. Yeah, well, it couldn't have been much worse, but yeah, it could have been worse. Ryan B, bench, I'm done. Fan since the mid 80s, and no diehard fan deserves this time and time again. Typical least to lose like that. It's beyond ridiculous. I know, Ryan. I agree. It's rough. We're gonna go through this whole cycle all over again with looking for a quarterback next year. K Guralnik. Sorry about that. Maybe he can get some reps now. Yeah, he will. He will get some reps. Don't worry, guys. Like I said, Shedeur, full thing going, I'm trying to think of the right word here. Oh my God, what is the word? I forget. Oh my God, sorry, guys. To preface this, Shedeur never got first team reps. That's the word. To preface everything, Shedeur never got first team reps. For him to come out here with no first team reps, he doesn't have a relation, or chemistry with these guys who are playing right now. For him to come out here, he's going to struggle. He's a developmental quarterback. He's still learning. He's a 5th round pick. I think he will get better. I really do. I think he will get better. But if he doesn't get better next week, I think you're going to have a conversation with Kevin Stefanski about probably seeing Dillon Gabriel again. And that's why I said I'm warning you guys right now because I can see this happening. I can see this happening in a couple of weeks when if Shedeur Sanders struggles against the Raiders, Kevin could maneuver back to Dillon because Kevin has the excuse now that we didn't move on off of Dillon because Dillon was playing bad. We think Dillon's playing good. We moved off of Dillon because he got hurt. And that is why I'm preparing you guys, and I said this during the video. That's why I think Kevin could go back to Dillon after Sunday against the Raiders. I'm just warning you guys right now. All right. Hustleman 96, no first team reps. Shedeur still did pretty good. Yeah, he did. He looked fine in some parts. He flashed. Dorian says free Shedeur with 5 laughing emojis. Hustleman 96 again. It was a good game. No quarterback did good this game. This is one of the toughest defenses to go against. Not bad from Shedeur. Again, guys, we have to be honest here. 4 of 16 for like 45 yards is not good. And again, it's fine. He wasn't good. You guys can be fine with him not being good. It's fine. It's fine. It's his first action of NFL, like real NFL games. It's fine for him to be bad. You guys don't have to like spin everything for having, to have Shedeur Sanders be good. It's fine with him being bad for his first half of football. It's fine. He just has to get better for next week, and he's going to have reps with the first team, and hopefully he looks a lot better. I hope he does. But guys, we don't have to like create these narratives that Shedeur Sanders actually looked great. He didn't. And that's fine. It's his first NFL action. God is in the chat. How was he not great? There was a couple of passes into the end zone that were dropped. Come on, dude. Again, I said the Gage Larvidan pass was a good pass. It was a good pass. He had some good moments in the last drive. But guys, he also had a couple of bad moments too. It's fine for him to be bad. It's his first action in an NFL game. He doesn't have to be perfect. He doesn't have to be great. You could just say he looked bad. He looked fine. He had some good moments. He had some flashes where you're like, oh, okay, there's some things to work on there. It's fine. Let's see here. Let's see. I'm sorry. I lost my place here on the chat. Ryan B. again. That defense is not one of the best. Come on now. I think he's talking to the other guy in the chat. Brett Altop, my bad. I'm sick of losing. I am too, Brett. Ryan B. again. Sanders 4 of 16, 47 yards, average 2.9 yards per. Yeah, he did good. I know. Like I said, it's fine if Shedeur looked rough. It's fine. It's fine. He's a rookie quarterback in his first NFL action, guys. It's not that bad. It's not terrible. Hustleman 96 again. No first team reps against a good defense of Baltimore. Baltimore defense is vastly improved. They blitz too. Adam again. Shedeur doesn't know his receivers. He doesn't work with the first team. Let Shedeur go deep. He hit that guy in the end zone, then dropped it. He didn't drop the ball in the end zone. Gage Larvidan did not drop it. It was just a good defensive play by the defensive back of the Ravens. I think it was a Awuzie, but that was not a drop. And it was a good throw. I said it was a good throw. I think if Awuzie's arm was a little bit out of the position, I think it was a touchdown. It could have been a touchdown. But again, guys, we don't have to like make stuff up so that it fits the narrative that Shedeur is a great guy. I mean, he's fine. It's his first action. I'm not, like I said, I'm not writing Shedeur off based on what I saw today in the second half of the game. I'm not. Let me see him have a full week of practice with the first reps, with the first team. Let him go out there next week Sunday, and I hope he does well. That's it. Ryan B. looks like you're a Dillon Gabriel stan. 7 of 10 for 68 yards. I hope Sanders proves me wrong versus Vegas. I same here. I hope he does well. I hope Shedeur does well. Brian Golenberg, if the offensive line gives him time to throw, as you saw, it's a different story. He's got to get rid of the football. You got Sanders multiple games. I'm assuming you got to have Sanders for multiple games. I agree, but I'm just telling you guys, the whole argument about moving off from Dillon to start Shedeur was that Shedeur or Dillon Gabriel would not start again this season for you, and that that was a final nail in the coffin for Dillon Gabriel starting football games for you unless Shedeur got hurt. But now Kevin has the excuse now because Dillon got a concussion in this game. Now if Shedeur struggles, Shedeur's going to go back to being the backup and Dillon's going to come back in. I'm telling you guys right now, If that happens, you guys are going to hear it from me first, and you guys are going to be like, wow, this guy told you that was going to happen. I'm telling you guys right now, that's probably how they're going to be looking at this. So I'm not going to get shocked if Dillon Gabriel goes back out there. I'm just warning you guys right now. All right. Ryan B says he misses Baker. I do too, man. Adam, he should stick with Shedeur because Gabriel has shown little potential. I know I don't like Dillon Gabriel. I don't see the thing. I don't see the appeal to him. But for some reason, it's Kevin Stefanski's guy. He likes him a lot. And I think Kevin's going to find any way to put him back out on the field when he gets healthy. I'm just telling you guys right now. Dr. Hot Peppers, where were Shedeur's deep passes? That was pitiful. We had the game won. Well, the problem with Shedeur, he threw the ball deep on the last drive to the end zone. The problem why Shedeur didn't throw deep was because, one, the Ravens were blitzing like crazy and trying to get pressure so that he couldn't get established in the pocket. Two, none of the receivers were getting open enough for Shedeur to make a quality throw downfield. He had that really good throw to Fannin, and he had those two throws towards the end zone that he probably could have hit, but one was just a really nice play by Awuzie for the Ravens to make that play. The other one was just a miss. He had, I think it was Bond wide open in the end zone. He missed him, though. But yeah, I mean, he didn't have enough time in the pocket to throw, and, I mean, the Ravens were just sending pressure, immense pressure up his ways to just get him off kilter. So, again, I'm not going to blame Shedeur for not throwing the ball deep that much. He just didn't have enough time. Dr. Hot Peppers again says DG played better than Watson last season, better than Flacco this season, better than Shedeur, even better than the number one pick, Cam Ward, and Dillon did this with the worst O-line and worst receiver. Okay, again, I am not going to say that Dillon Gabriel is somehow better than Shedeur Sanders when I only saw Shedeur Sanders play a half of football. I'm going to let him play next week against the Raiders, okay? I'm not going to put all of my eggs in one basket and say that Shedeur Sanders can never play the game of football because of what I saw today. I'm also not going to say that Shedeur Sanders is the second coming of Christ because I only saw, I saw half of football today. I'm not going to do that. That's not how we do it here on the channel, okay? So I don't agree with that, but thank you for participating in the chat. I really appreciate it. One foe, dude, DG is cooked. Bailey Zappi is up next. I don't think so, man. I really don't. And again, this is why I'm telling you guys, Dillon Gabriel is Kevin's guy, and Kevin's going to try and find any and every way to try and make sure that Dillon Gabriel succeeds, because if Dillon Gabriel succeeds, that means Kevin Stefanski succeeds. So I'm warning you guys right now that this is going to happen if Shedeur Sanders struggles next week, and if Dillon gets healthy. Do not be surprised if Dillon Gabriel becomes the starter after the Raiders game next week. I'm just warning you guys right now. Dr. Hot Peppers again. When Dillon got in his first game, he didn't have any first team snaps and he threw a touchdown. That's not true, Hot Peppers. That's not true. He had first team reps. He did. He had first team reps. That's not true. Throughout that was the whole drama the entire season, was Dillon Gabriel got first team reps and Shedeur was the only quarterback out of the 4-man competition to not get any reps. So that's just not true. I understand you're trying to defend Dillon, but it's just not true. Dr. Hot Peppers again. Stefanski said in the post-game interview just now that Dillon is still the starter if he's able to go. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you guys right now, if Dillon is not going to play on Sunday, which I probably would say he's probably not, I would sit him out for next Sunday just to make sure. But Shedeur goes out there and, something happens where he either balls out or he plays bad. Do not be surprised if Kevin goes back to playing Dillon. He has the excuse now because Dillon got hurt. He didn't pull Dillon because Dillon played bad. It's because Dillon got concussed. I'm telling you guys right now. This is why I'm going to say it until I'm blue in the face. Kevin has his excuse now to go back to Dillon Gabriel. Do not be surprised if they go back to Dillon Gabriel. Dr. Hot Peppers, thank you so much for the engagement in the chat. I really appreciate it. You're talking preseason. I'm talking this season. Dillon was not getting first-team reps until they traded Flacco. Well, that is true, but he also did get first-team reps. He did get first-team reps. That's why I'm saying he got first team reps. He worked with Jerry Jeudy. He worked with all the guys on the first team. Shedeur Sanders is the only quarterback that never got first team reps, no matter what. No matter what. Shedeur Sanders didn't get first team reps the entire preseason, the entire season. And again, Dillon Gabriel hasn't shown really anything to really suggest that he's even that great of a quarterback. I think he's a third string quarterback, to be honest with you. That's what I view him as. But that's just my opinion. You can have your opinion. That's fine, Dr. Hot Peppers. I appreciate your engagement in the chat. I really appreciate it. One more bad game from DG and his career is over. I'm going to go that far. But again, I don't know how many times I got to say it, guys. Dillon Gabriel's Kevin's guy. It doesn't matter how bad he looks. Dillon is Kevin's guy. And again, now he's got the injury excuse to go back to him. He's got the excuse to go back to him. I'm just telling you guys right now. Dr. Hot Peppers, again, I'm not saying Dillon is good, but he's played very well under the circumstances. I disagree, but that's fine. I disagree. It's your prerogative. It's your opinion. I have my opinion. I disagree with that. But once again, I appreciate you putting in the chat and engaging with me and engaging with the channel. I really appreciate it, man. Once again, guys, if you have not hit the like button on the stream, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button, because tomorrow we're going to go live at noon Eastern with Coming Off the Bench. We're going to be diving deep into this game. We're going to be diving deep into the Shedeur Sanders controversy, whatever you want to call it, with him maybe starting on Sunday, maybe not, who knows. But again, I'm not gonna be shocked if Kevin's gonna wait until Friday to announce who the starting quarterback is gonna be, or on Sunday at 10:30 or 11:30 until he decides who the starting quarterback is, because we all know Kevin Stefanski likes to be cryptic for no reason other than just being cryptic. But again, we're going to be diving deep into this game and into Shedeur Sanders and what the Browns are probably going to do going forward here tomorrow at noon Eastern. So make sure you guys, if you guys have not subscribed yet, and hit the subscribe button, turn the bell on so you guys are notified when I go live, because it's going to be a really, really good show tomorrow. Dr. Hot Peppers, again, who has looked better than Dillon? Are you talking about on the Browns? I would say nobody. I mean, maybe Joe Flacco a little bit. I think Joe Flacco was good on against the Cincinnati Bengals in the first game of the season. But outside of that, I mean, Dillon is probably... I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't think Dillon has looked any better or worse since that. I think that's the best quarterback game of the year for the Browns so far, was the game against the Cincinnati Bengals with Joe Flacco. That's just my opinion. Again, defense puts the points on the board, not DG. I agree. And again, guys, we had the whole thing too. The defense had, or the special teams made a play today. The special teams put you guys in position, the offensive position, at the 7-yard line today. In the first quarter, or in the second quarter, I think. In the second quarter, they got a muffed punt at the 7-yard line, and the Browns offense could not get the ball into the end zone. And again, at halftime, they did the same thing. The Dillon Gabriel and the Browns drove down the field. They fizzled out. He had a bad throw to Harold Fannin on an out route on a 3rd and 5. Browns had to kick a field goal. They came out of those two red zone drives with 6 points instead of 14. That was an 8-point swing right there. The Browns lose 23-16. The Browns could have been up 24-10 at the half. They left 8 points on the field during those two drives. That was the difference in the game today. Were those two red zone drives that the Browns had, that ended in field goals, those are your 8 points there. That cost you the game. That was the game right there. So, again, it was the turnovers by Shedeur. I mean, you beat them on the turnover battle. You beat them 3-1. You beat them 3-1. You caused Lamar Jackson to throw 2 picks and you get a fumble from the muffed punt. I mean, you beat them 3-1 in the turnover ratio in the turnover battle. What do you call it? Myles Garrett gets 4 sacks. Again, we haven't talked about this, and I hate myself. I'm kicking myself because it took me 35 minutes into the show to talk about it. But Myles Garrett has another 4+ game or 4-sack game, and the Browns somehow find a way to lose. They somehow find a way to lose. How is that possible? He had 4 sacks in this game. You lose. He has 5 sacks against the Patriots. You still lose. I don't get it. I don't understand. I think he has to be the most, I don't know. He has to be the most unlucky, unfortunate SOB there has to be in NFL history. I mean, my God, what more can the guy do? What more can he do, man? It's just insane to me. And again, the game was decided with those two red zone drives where you didn't come out with touchdowns, you came out with field goals, you leave 8 points on the field, that's your game. But otherwise, the Browns dominated. Defensively, special teams wise, they dominated. It was just the offensive side of the football. Both Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, they didn't take advantage of opportunities that were given to them. They didn't. 16 points, not good enough. Sorry, it's not good enough. Dr. Hot Peppers again, yes, on the Browns. Pull up Flacco's stats and Watson's stats from last season. Oh, I don't know about Flacco's stats. I know Flacco did better than Watson last season. Watson was horrible. Again, I'm not going to get into debate with Dillon Gabriel being better than Watson and Dillon Gabriel being better than Flacco. I think that he was probably better than Watson. It's still not good enough, man. I just don't think it's still good enough. It doesn't matter. He hasn't thrown the ball. He hasn't thrown for a 200-yard game, man. I've gone over his stats before in a different video here on the channel. If you want to watch that video, I go more into depth. Prior to this game, I go into depth with his stats. So if you want to watch me talk about Dillon Gabriel's stats, I have a video for you on my channel. I highly encourage you to go watch it, man. Ryan B. again, haven't seen DG lose 16 yards on a sack or get an intentional grounding because he fades back from the pocket. Well, again, I mean, Shedeur Sanders had nowhere to go with that. I mean, it was either take a sack or throw the football and try and not get an intentional grounding. Either way, it was a bad play. Dr. Hot Peppers, again, Dillon Gabriel has 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Again, I'm not going to box score watch, man. Again, Dillon has the stats on the stat sheet, but if you watch the football games, it's not great. Onefo, give Shedeur some grace. It took him a while to warm up again. Yeah, again, Onefo, I'm going to give Shedeur Sanders all the time in the world. I'm going to give him this week and the Raiders game. I hope he plays well. I'm not basing my opinion of Shedeur Sanders as a quarterback off of a half of football against the Baltimore Ravens, in November. I'm not doing that. I'm going to wait until he plays a full game with a full week of preparation, and then I will make an assumption and an educated guess, and I will react and analyze his play. That's how I do things. I don't think Shedeur Sanders, you cannot make a full-throated or a full, I don't know the word, you cannot make a full evaluation or an assumption off of Shedeur Sanders off of one half of football. I think that's irresponsible, and I just think that's plain stupid. I just think that's dumb. So that's just me. That goes both ways. If you think Shedeur Sanders is going to be the greatest quarterback of all time, based off of what you saw today, I think you're nuts. I just disagree with that. And if you think Shedeur Sanders can never be an NFL quarterback based off what you saw during this one half of football, I also think that's wrong. I think that's wrong. I'm going to wait until, what do you call it? I cannot wait, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just out of it right now. I'm not going to give, I'm not going to Oh my God, dude. I am sorry, guys. I am like I don't know what's going on right now with my head. I'm not going to make assumptions off of what I saw today on Shedeur Sanders. I'm not. I'm just not going to do it. Dr. Hot Peppers again. My point is, how can you say Dillon is bad when he's obviously on a horrible team where good quarterbacks cannot succeed? Again, I don't agree with that he's a good quarterback. I agree that it's a bad team. I just don't think that I think you're giving him too much credit. I just think you are. Again, I'm not mad at you for believing that. It's your opinion. That's fine. But again, when you look at the stats, nothing is good. You can just watch the games. Nothing is great. Nothing about him is great. I don't see anything to me that says, "Wow, this guy can actually be a franchise quarterback." He had a good throw down the seam. He had a good throw down the seam. I gave him credit for that. I thought he had a really good throw down the seam on that seam route. I don't remember who it was to. I don't remember who the receiver was, but it was a great throw. So there, I gave Dillon credit. I've said multiple times, Kevin Stefanski's offense is not necessarily the greatest. I've said that multiple times. But I'm just not going to sit here and say that Dillon Gabriel is great. I don't think he is. If you think so, that's fine. That's your opinion. That's fine, man. All right, brother. Dr. Hot Peppers again. I cannot respect you if you cannot give credit to DG for how he's protected the ball and played not to lose on a horrible offense with no blocking and receivers that don't attack and drop the ball. Again, your opinion, that's fine. That's fine. I just disagree with you. I disagree. I don't see him playing that well. I don't think he's played that well. If you do, that's fine. I'm not saying he's great, but you can't say he's bad under this pressure. Again, you can go watch my video about Dillon Gabriel and the stats. And you can make up your own conclusions, man. That's fine. You're fine. You can think he's fine. That's fine. Onefo, you are doing great commentary. I appreciate that, Onefo. I'm sorry, guys, about me rambling. I don't know what's going on with my head today. I don't know what is going on. I feel like I have like brain fog or something. I don't know what's going on. Well, see you, Dr. Hot Peppers. I appreciate you commenting and engaging with me in the chat today. I really appreciate that, even if you disagree with me. Once again, if you guys don't have to agree with me. I really like this. It's fine. You don't have to agree with me. All right? That's fine. I appreciate your guys' engagement in the chat. I appreciate your guys' support. I mean, you guys have been killing it. I think we've had like 20,000 views in the last 28 days. You guys have been killing it. I really appreciate it. And we'll be getting out of here in just a second. I just want to say once again before we get out of here, thank you guys so much for all of your support. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I mean, you guys have been absolutely killing it. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to be going live tomorrow at noon Eastern. We'll be recapping this game. We'll be talking about Shedeur Sanders. I'm like already done talking about Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel just from like the last 45 minutes of me talking about it, but we're going to be doing it again tomorrow for another 45 minutes. So make sure you guys are subscribed, hit the bell notification so you guys are notified when I go live tomorrow at noon. We'll read some more of your chats here. Ryan B, watching the Browns will give you brain fog. Makes total sense. Yeah, it does. Yes, it does. Even just thinking about the Browns and the different controversies is making my brain into freaking soup. It just turned my brain into liquid. It's practically coming out of my ears already. Onefo again. So Raiders is a make or break game. Correct. Yes, it is. It's going to decide whether Kevin goes with Shedeur, maybe another game, maybe another week, or if Shedeur plays bad next week, he's going to pivot, go back to Dillon Gabriel. And again, that's why I've said so many times, do not be surprised if Kevin decides to go back to Dillon after next week. I'm telling you guys right now, because now he has been given the excuse to go back to Dillon because now he has the injury excuse. We didn't pull Dillon because Dillon was playing bad. We pulled him because he was hurt. So if Dillon becomes the starter after Sunday, when Shedeur is done playing the Raiders, if Shedeur even plays against the Raiders, do not be surprised because you will have heard it here first. Okay. All right, guys. We're going to call it here, 45 minutes. Thank you guys so much for coming out here. I really appreciate your guys' support. Once again, like button, hit the like button. Subscribe, hit the subscribe button. Turn your bells on so you guys are notified when we go live tomorrow for Coming Off the Bench. And, yeah, it's going to be a fun episode tomorrow. I can't wait. Make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow.